Tourmaline is a crystalline boron silicate mineral compounded with elements such as aluminium, iron, magnesium, sodium, lithium, or potassium. Tourmaline is classified as a semi-precious stone, and the gemstone comes in a wide variety of colors. The name comes from the Tamil and Sinhalese word Turmali or Thoramalli, which applied to different gemstones found in Sri Lanka. History. Brightly colored Sri Lankan gem tourmalines were brought to Europe in great quantities by the Dutch East India Company to satisfy demand for curiosities and gems. At the time it was not realized that shell and tourmaline were the same mineral. Tourmaline was sometimes called the Ceylonese magnet because it could attract and then repel hot ashes due to its pyroelectric properties. Tourmalines were used by chemists in the 19th century to polarize light by shining rays onto a cut and polished surface of the gem. Tourmaline species and varieties. Commonly encountered species and varieties: shell species, brownish black to black shell. Dravite species. For the Drave district of Carinthia, dark yellow to brownish black. Dravite. Elbate species, named after the island of Elba, Italy, red or pinkish red. Rubellite variety, light blue to bluish green. Brazilian indicolite variety, green. Verdilite, a Brazilian emerald variety. Colorless acroite variety. Shell. The most common species of tourmaline is shell, the sodium ion and member of the group. It may account for 95% or more of all tourmaline in nature. The early history of the mineral shell shows that the name shell was in use prior to 1400 because a village known today as Sedshorlau was then named Shell. This village had a nearby tin mine where, in addition to cassiterite, black tourmaline was found. The first description of shell with the name shell and its occurrence was written by Johannes Mathesius in 1562 under the title Sarepta Oda, Bergpostil. Up to about 1600, additional names used in the German language were Schurel, Schul, and Shell. Beginning in the 18th century, the name shell was mainly used in the German-speaking area. In English, the names shell and shell were used in the 18th century. In the 19th century, the names common shell, and iron tourmaline were the English words used for this mineral. Dravite, also called brown tourmaline, is the sodium-magnesium-rich tourmaline end member. Uvite, in comparison, is a calcium-magnesium tourmaline. Dravite forms multiple series, with other tourmaline members, including shell and elbate. The name Dravite was used for the first time by Gustav Chamak, professor of mineralogy and petrography at the University of Vienna. In his book Lehrbuch der Mineralogie for magnesium-rich tourmaline from Unter Drawberg in the Drava River area, Carinthia, Austro-Hungarian Empire. Today this tourmaline locality at Dravograd is a part of the Republic of Slovenia. Chamak gave this tourmaline the name Dravite for the Drava River area, which is the district along the Drava River in Austria and Slovenia. The chemical composition which was given by Chamak in 1884 for this Dravite approximately corresponds to the formula NaMg36B3 silicon peroxide, which is in good agreement with the end-member formula of Dravite as known today. Dravite varieties include the deep green chromium Dravite and the vanadium Dravite. Elbate. Lithium tourmaline. Elbate was one of three pegmatitic minerals from Umeå, Sweden, in which the new alkali element lithium was determined in 1818 by Johann August Whitson for the first time. Elba Island, Italy, was one of the first localities where colored and colorless tourmalines were extensively chemically analyzed. In 1850, Carl Friedrich August Rammelsberg described fluorine in tourmaline for the first time. In 1870, he proved that all varieties of tourmaline contain chemically bound water. In 1889, Scharitzer proposed the substitution of BF in red tourmaline from Sucis, Czech Republic. In 1914, Vladimir Vernadsky proposed the name Elbate for lithium, sodium, and aluminum-rich tourmaline from Elba Island, Italy, with the simplified formula Hal6b2 silicon peroxide. Most likely the type material for Elbate was found at Fonte del Prete, San Piero in Campo nell'Elba, Elba Island, province of Livorno, Tuscany, Italy. In 1933, when Shell published an updated formula for Elbate, H8NR2Li3 aluminium boride aluminium silicide 062, which is commonly used to date, written as NAL 633. The first crystal structure determination of a Li-rich tourmaline was published in 1972 by Donne and Barton, performed on a pink Elbate from San Diego County, California, United States. Chemical composition of the tourmaline group. The tourmaline mineral group is chemically one of the most complicated groups of silicate minerals. Its composition varies widely because of isomorphism replacement, and its general formula can be written as XY3Z63V3W, where X equals California, Na K equals vacancy, Y equals Li Mg, Fe2 plus Mn2 plus zinc, Al Cr3 plus V3 plus Fe3 plus T4 plus vacancy, Z equals Mg, Al Fe3 plus Cr3 plus V3 plus D equals C, Al B equals B, vacancy, V equals O, OW equals OF. A revised nomenclature for the tourmaline group was published in 2011. Physical properties. Crystal structure. Tourmaline is a six-member ring cyclosilicate having a trigonal crystal system. It occurs as long, slender to thick prismatic and columnar crystals that are usually triangular in cross-section, often with curved striated faces. The style of termination at the ends of crystals is sometimes asymmetrical, called hemimorphism. Small slender prismatic crystals are common in a fine-grained granite called apatite, are often forming radial daisy-like patterns. Tourmaline is distinguished by its three-sided prisms. No other common mineral has three sides. Prisms' faces often have heavy vertical striations that produce a rounded triangular effect. Tourmaline is rarely perfectly euhedral. An exception was the fine-gravite tourmalines of Yirnyathara in Western Australia. The deposit was discovered in the 1970s, but is now exhausted. All hemimorphic crystals are piezoelectric, and are often pyroelectric as well. Color. Tourmaline has a variety of colors. Usually iron-rich tourmalines are black to bluish-black to deep brown, while magnesium-rich varieties are brown to yellow, and lithium-rich tourmalines are almost any color: blue, green, red, yellow, pink, etc. Rarely, it is colorless. Bicolored and multicolored crystals are common, reflecting variations of fluid chemistry during crystallization. Crystals may be green at one end and pink at the other, or green on the outside and pink inside. This type is called watermelon tourmaline. Some forms of tourmaline are dichroic, in that they change color when viewed from different directions. The pink color of tourmalines from many fields is the result of prolonged natural irradiation. During the growth, these tourmaline crystals incorporated Mn2+ and were initially very pale. Due to natural gamma-ray exposure from radioactive decay of 40K in the granitic environment, gradual formation of Mn3+ ions occurs, which is responsible for the deepening of the pink to red color. Magnetism. Opaque black shell and yellow silicate are idiochromatic tourmaline species that have high magnetic susceptibilities due to high concentrations of iron and manganese respectively. Most gem-quality tourmalines are of the L-bate species. L-bate tourmalines are allochromatic, deriving most of the color and magnetic susceptibility from shell and silicate. Red and pink tourmalines have the lowest magnetic susceptibilities among the L-bates, while tourmalines with bright yellow, green and blue colors are the most magnetic L-bates. Dravite species such as green chromium dravite and brown dravite are magnetic. A handheld neodymium magnet can be used to identify or separate some types of tourmaline gems from others. For example, blue indicolite tourmaline is the only blue gemstone of any kind that will show a drag response when a neodymium magnet is applied. Any blue tourmaline that is diamagnetic can be identified as tourmaline colored by copper, in contrast to magnetic blue tourmaline colored by iron. Treatments. Some tourmaline gems, especially pink to red colored stones, are altered by heat treatment to improve their color. Irradiation is almost impossible to detect in tourmalines and does not currently impact the value. Heat treatment is also used to enhance tourmaline. Heavily included tourmalines, such as rubellite and Brazilian paraiba, are sometimes clarity-enhanced. A clarity-enhanced tourmaline is worth much less than a non-treated gem. Geology. Tourmaline is found in granite and granite pegmatites and in metamorphic rocks such as schist and marble. Shell and lithium-rich tourmalines are usually found in granite and granite pegmatite. Magnesium-rich tourmalines, dravites, are generally restricted to schists and marble. Tourmaline is a durable mineral and can be found in minor amounts as grains in sandstone and conglomerate, and is part of the ZTR index for highly weathered sediments. Tourmaline localities. Gem and specimen tourmaline is mined chiefly in Brazil and Africa. Some placer material suitable for gem use comes from Sri Lanka. In addition to Brazil, tourmaline is mined in Tanzania, Nigeria, Kenya, Madagascar, Mozambique, Namibia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Malawi, United States. Some fine gems and specimen material has been produced in the United States, with the first discoveries in 1822 in the state of Maine. California became a large producer of tourmaline in the early 1900s. The Maine deposits tend to produce crystals in raspberry pink red as well as minty greens. The California deposits are known for bright pinks, as well as bicolors. During the early 1900s, Maine and California were the world's largest producers of gem tourmalines. The Empress Dowager Cixi of China loved pink tourmaline and bought large quantities for gemstones and carvings from the then-new Himalaya mine, located in San Diego County, California. It is not clear when the first tourmaline was found in California. Native Americans have used pink and green tourmaline as funeral gifts for centuries. The first documented case was in 1890 when Charles Russell Orchid found pink tourmaline at what later became the Stewart Mine at Parla, San Diego County, Brazil. Almost every color of tourmaline can be found in Brazil, especially in the Brazilian states of Minas Gerais and Bahia. In 1989, miners discovered a unique and brightly colored variety of tourmaline in the state of Paraíba. The new type of tourmaline, which soon became known as Paraíba tourmaline, came in blue and green. Brazilian Paraíba tourmaline usually contains abundant inclusions. Much of the Paraíba tourmaline from Brazil actually comes from the neighboring state of Rio Grande do Norte. Material from Rio Grande do Norte is often somewhat less intense in color, but many fine gems are found there. It was determined that the element copper was important in the coloration of the stone. World's largest. A large-cut tourmaline from Paraíba, measuring 36.44 by 33.75 by 21.85 mm and weighing 191.87 carats, was included in the Guinness World Records. The large natural gem, owned by billionaire business enterprises, is a bluish-green in color. The flawless oval-shaped cut stone was presented in Montreal, Quebec, Canada on 14 October 2009. Africa. In the late 1990s, copper-containing tourmaline was found in Nigeria. The material was generally paler and less saturated than the Brazilian materials, although the material generally was much less included. A more recent African discovery from Mozambique has also produced tourmaline colored by copper, similar to the Brazilian Paraíba. While its colors are somewhat less bright than top Brazilian material, Mozambique Paraíba is often less included and has been found in larger sizes. The Mozambique Paraíba material usually is more intensely colored than the Nigerian. There is a significant overlap in color and clarity with Mozambique Paraíba and Brazilian Paraíba, especially with the material from Rio Grande do Norte. While less expensive than top-quality Brazilian Paraíba, some Mozambique material sells for well over $5,000 per carat, which still is extremely high compared to other tourmalines. Another highly valuable variety is chrome tourmaline, a rare type of dravite tourmaline from Tanzania. Chrome tourmaline is a rich green color due to the presence of chromium atoms in the crystal. Chromium also produces the green color of emeralds. Of the standard L-bait colors, bluey indicolite gems are typically the most valuable, followed by green verdilite and pink to red rubellite. There are also yellow tourmalines, sometimes known as Kandari tourmaline. Zambia is rich in both red and yellow tourmaline, which are relatively inexpensive in that country. Ironically, the rarest variety, colorless acroid, is not appreciated and is the least expensive of the transparent tourmalines. Afghanistan indicolite and verdilite are found in the Nuristan region and Pesh Valley of Kunar province. Gem-quality tourmalines are faceted from 0.50 to 10 gram sizes and have high clarity and intense shades of color.